as we flop second pair. I don't see much need to raise here for protection or anything. The value hands we're beat by. The bluff hands we have pretty comfortably smashed. We have decent equity against some of the stronger hands. Not tons of... There's some suited ace-X in our opponent's range, so like an ace, queen, diamonds or whatever. Some of those might size up, some of those might not. Turn, I feel pretty similar. If we're beat, we're beat. Is there room to bet and barrel off for value here? I think on a 6, less so. I think we're more incentivized to check here. And we can go for a river bluff. Represent the jack-queen, represent the jack-9 of air. Tough to know exactly what we're trying to get value from. So the bet check bet is kind of gross, right? So we definitely expect a bunch of value to bet check bet. What bluffs are we hoping to see here? Like a 9-4 or something? I mean, a hand's way too good to even consider folding, but it just sucks a little bit. King 7, okay. Okay. Fair. Thrash says, good luck. Is the hourly better nowadays than Flash? Haven't played Stars much since they brought out Flash. It's very, very close. I play both. I think Flash has advantages in terms of they're obviously quicker, the games run a bit more frequently. There's a bit more of a ceiling in terms of the win rate that you can achieve. So on a per game basis, it's way better to play reg speeds. However, you play a lot more games an hour when you play Flashes. So typically you play 15 games an hour per table count you have. So your 4 table, you play 60 games an hour pretty comfortably. Whereas with reg speeds, you play more like 7 or 7.5. You play about double the volume per table here. So, yeah. Okay, Mr. Cornelius, we're going to call with 10-8 and we're going to flop nothing. Nada. Gregor says, maybe a good idea for the next podcast, invite a guest, take them to the bath, light a candle and just talk about stuff. Just vibe, just chill, yeah? You think Jack would like that idea, Tomo? Well, it's an idea. I think that definitely, yeah, has some merit. Jack's in there with his whiteboard. It's not a very big bath, I'll be honest. It barely fits me. Could hit 250 soon. If we win a 10x, we're playing 250s. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Like Spencer needed to do 240k VPs a month and it was 12 temperatures. Wow, Thrash. I'm both impressed and scared. That would certainly, doing that for a long time would certainly, I think you'd struggle to keep the joy for it, I think, yeah, for sure. Bobito says, smelly pussy. Yes, it is a, I'll be honest, I didn't recognize the, I never said it out loud, and then I did a coaching session and it suddenly hit me and I was like, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, this could be misinterpreted, your name. And now I just call him Cornelius. Very quick jam. So I think I don't want to talk too much about button limping strategy because it's sort of slightly unique, and the more I kind of explain the thought process, the worse it will go. So I'm going to try and keep doing it because I think it's interesting, creates interesting spots. I think it's nice for a viewer to see, especially if you're a spin and go reg, to see some like funny hands rather than just like, oh yeah, whatever, like min raise fold or whatever. So, but I'm not going to talk too in depth about at least the pre-flop range because they will be kind of unique, but they will. I mean, I know it seems like I'm just a donk. There is a lot of study that got into this, and I don't know if the study's necessarily going to pay off, is what I will say. Like, it may not. It may not. But it might. We don't know. Jake says, are there members of Team 6 1 playing part-time? There are definitely members of Team 6 1 who part-time in terms of have other jobs. There's not too, I don't think it depends what your definition of part-time is. So, like, there are guys that play spins that have other jobs. We have a guy, for example, that has his own physiotherapy business on the side kind of thing, and then like is trying to see if they can make it work. Okay. But no, like I would say of the guys playing part-time, they still put in okay volume. So it's a balancing act, right? Where the official, if you like, sales line is that there's a lot of resources that go out, which is true, to the new guys. And so to make it a win-win, the idea is that you're not recruiting players that play 10 hours a month, right? Because in theory, you can go to like 20 hours coaching or something a month straight off the bat, and then suddenly it's like, well, yeah. But I think it's certainly not. You don't have to be like for only poker as your income. You can certainly have other jobs, and I think I would certainly recommend for guys who are trying to join the development wing. Not a bad idea if you're part time and still can put in, 80 hours a month grinding. Happy days. We used to have a newsletter in 601. There used to be Wubsy used to do a newsletter, and I was always really excited. I was like, I just love the newsletter. I'd love to see, a little email that goes around with your picture on. And then as soon as I joined, he stopped doing it. Lazy. Complex says, what is your bankroll management? 100 spin seems quite high for a 3 to 4k bankroll, especially for flashes, even if you have a huge edge. I do not have good bankroll management, but what I've sacrificed for bankroll management, I'm trying to make up for excitement. Now, this is not actually my bankroll. This is a fake bankroll, if you like, just to show it can be done. So I would not be doing, if this was the money I had, I would not be doing this. And I would not recommend, if you're playing flashes, depends on your edge, but I would agree, I would not recommend 30 buy-ins. What we're doing is we're being really aggressive, so we're moving up with 20 buy-ins, and as soon as we dip below 20 buy-ins, we drop to the one below. So the idea being that, I think, I hope that makes sense. The limp snap call. It feels a lot. Whoops, I've done that way too small. It feels a lot like. I think he's got aces. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe min again. Like that. Could even try min again. Like min fold would be kind of like strange, wouldn't it? I guess we'll just jam. Okay. Well, we tried something trying to be tricky there. I don't know. Jamming's totally fine on the turn. Just felt like maybe we get overfolds, but then, and then we only get called by better, but I don't know. We just missed a bell. We'll just run good in the pre-flop. That's also the way to do it, I think. Alright, play again. Yes, please. Alright. Min raise. C bet. What does this mean sizing wise? Hard to say. There's definitely room to check raise and just get it in here, and I think I'm actually going to do this with this hand. Hand is pretty comfortable. Like against the jack, obviously we miss out, but in terms of deny equity, pretty nice. I think that board in particular will probably encourage all of those middling cards 10-7 to c-bet. You probably c-bet 10-7 on that board. If that's the case, raising there is going to be fantastic. Even if we run into a jack occasionally, it's going to be more than compensated for the equity we deny, and we can get it in the head, right? Not possible our opponent shoves 6-7 there or something, or an ace-3. It's unlikely, but not impossible. I propose Tommy also played plenty of hands against Fraum Archer. What are your thoughts on him? I have not played any hands against him in the last 2.5 years, so I have no recent knowledge of playing any hands against many regs on stars. He was always pretty good. I can't remember, like he had the reg label, and I don't have anything. Back in the day, I would have had, let's say, lots of micro opinions, if you like, little things that I would have been like, oh, I'm going to look at this or this or this. I have no idea what any of them are. I probably don't have my notes anymore, so I have no idea. But he was twitching, I think, for a bit as well, and I used to watch a few of his Twitch, and he always seemed very solid and friendly, and so I hope I have no idea if he's even still playing, but I think I might have seen him. I think he might have done a GTO base video, if I remember rightly. So congrats to Fraum. I hope I hope it's a good gig and paying him well. You're totally right, and thank you, by the way, for checking in, making sure that we're gambling responsibly. I appreciate the welfare check. Let's call it that. Just go, are you sure you know what you're doing? You know what I mean? Because that doesn't seem sustainable. Right, top pair, 6.5 BB. Decent chunk of jackets in the range. Decent chunk of kings and aces. When they bet here, some of the jackets might not want to instantly bet, right? So like jack 5, jack 4, etc, etc. King, a bit of a blank, to be honest. So 10x obviously gets there, and 10x might bet, which is kind of sad. King X is sort of irrelevant, right? You could have aces, you could have kings, but he doesn't have ace king, he doesn't have king 2, those are champery. So when he bets his sizing, he could have aces, he could have kings, could have a 10x, that's it. Called again, now spade comes as well. Check in, I don't expect aces and kings to bet river here. And so the river bet is going to be made up of just complete air, of which it's tough to take your triple barrel air here. Like, you have to take your 8-6 off and go for it. Does a hand like 10-6 off bet? Yeah, I mean, you're not checking back a straight here, right? So every straight's there. Are there flushes here? There could be flushes. I mean, the flush is definitely reasonable. So we're going to fold there. And I feel fairly comfortable about that. I think in upper seed range we have lots of snap calls. And it's pretty tough to find the triple and take there. It might happen. But yeah.